After a big road victory last Friday against Catalina Foothills, the Buena Colts are 3-0 and will be home on this very field tomorrow night, Friday night at 7 p.m. against Tucson High. And we'll take a few minutes to talk about last week's game, to talk about tomorrow's game, all right here on the Buena Colt football pregame with Jeff Davenport, brought to you by Ssvec, Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, serving our community. Brought alongside Coach Joe Thomas here on Loveless Field, my friend. First of all, congratulations, 3-0, back to 3-0 again for how many straight years now?
I mean, a couple. Yeah, I think we've had a few more than a couple, but it's good. Last year we definitely did. So
yeah. Well, could you go back to back, and then not only to go back to back as far as victories go, to put up 49 points back to back weeks. What is that saying about your offense and how it's clicking right now?
I mean, we got the right guys in the right spots doing the right things at the right time. You know, they have a lot of experience, and you know, we feel like we're a better team than last year. And I know other teams are working to get better and things like that. But you know, you look at last year because we play those same teams this year, and you want to get better and you want to work harder. And you know, we're coming after people. You know, and we want to make sure that we're putting in the work. And you know, the guys that we have out there, they're hungry and they want to get it done. So it's going to be a battle. And you know, if you can stop what we do, it'll be a battle. If you can't, it'll be a long night for you. And of course, you know, offenses, they want to try to combat anything that we do on defense and you know, they want to score against our defense, but we want to be prepared and, you know, and play hard and win.
Before we talk about the defensive scheme, let's go back to the offense real quick. On that game last Friday at Catalina, it was a real ground attack. It was much more ground assault than air assault.
We wanted to be more aggressive. You know, you can throw the ball a lot and it's not as physical of a game because, you know, you're snapping the ball and then it's being thrown and then whatever happens. But as soon as you get those linemen involved in a physical game and we're going to put the ball, we're going to hand the ball, we're going to run and we're going to block and we're going to pound it, we just need to be more physical. You know, we want to work on that. And there's some games we might want to pass a little bit more, which we did the first two games. And that was a game where I felt like the team needed to get a little bit more physical, so we ran the ball. So that way on both sides of the ball, offense or defense, we're being physical.
Well, and talk about the defense being physical. The week before, 2 weeks ago, the defense gave up 21 points in the game against Catalina Foothills. Their opening possession, they run it all the way down for 7. That's the only 7 they saw.
Right.
What did the defense learn after that first possession to pitch a shutout the rest of the game?
Well, we should have pitched a shutout. Of course, we fell asleep a little bit.
Relax. It's all
you know, we fell asleep a little bit, but you know, we don't want to give up any points. You know, because you think about it, what if the game's 7-7 at that point, and then you give something up? You know,
right.
What if you're trying to come from behind? So just getting them understanding that even though we're winning and we're doing a lot of good things, we just want to get better. But the defense, they took it to offense. You know, that team came out, they thought they could play with us, and they scored on us. And you know, for a minute, they thought they could, and then after that, it was all uphill for us and downhill for them. So the defense took it to offense, and they were upset that they got scored on. So they made plays, and that's why interceptions happen. That's why fumbles happen and stuff like that. So they got a little upset. Now we want to start upset at the beginning and not give up any points at all. But you know, anytime any offense has the ball, there's a probability of scoring, right? But they did a good job, and you know, to give up 7 points on the first drive and then not give up any more for the rest of the game, that's impressive.
I'd say that's mission accomplished right there. So that was last week. Obviously, every week is a 1-week season. You're looking ahead to Tucson High School. The Badgers are sitting at 2-1 right now. But once again, on paper, if you were to look at their offensive output versus your offensive output, it's night and day.
Correct.
What are you seeing, or what are you working on specifically this week, knowing that again on paper this looks like a relatively easy victory?
Right. Well, they played South Mountain. They beat a South Mountain team like 50-0, and then they got beat 50-7, and then they beat Cienega. It was 13-7. They scored in the first half, the quarter. They didn't score anything else after that. So I mean, they put up numbers in week 1. We've been putting up numbers every week, so you know, we feel good and confident going in with that. You know, we beat these guys the last couple of years. It's been close games. It's been the first time we beat them, I think it was 21-14. 14-7 a couple of years back, and then we had ended up beating them last year 21-13. And we played both those at their place, which is I do not like playing up there. But you know, being able to get points on the board and things like that. And they're going to come out and they're going to want to fight, right? Because they, you know, anytime you don't have a loss on your schedule, teams want to come after you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we want to beat Tucson and we want to make a statement and we want to, you know, set the tone. So, you know, we're excited. They got some guys that can do some things. We got to play more discipline, which is what we've been working on too. So you bring the air game, the run game, you bring the discipline, consistency, and we feel good going into tomorrow night. Close game. great. Big game. We win by a lot. Either way, we want to come out victorious.
I like how you said that. I mean, the 0-3-0 ends up being a bullseye. It literally does for any team that comes to town to say, we're going to be the ones to be the 1-3-1. And that's what Tucson High wants to do tomorrow night. What have been other key things you've been focusing on this week? Have you had a word for practice this week that you've been looking at with these young men?
Well, we've been stressing the 1-0. We've been stressing, hey, we've been 3-0 before. Yeah. So we already know what that feels like. It's nothing new, right? It should have happened, and it is happening, right? So we're just stressing, hey, 1-0, focus on those things that we can control, and now just put everything together: offense, defense, special teams, plus the discipline and the aggressiveness. And we want a physical game. So we want to try to bring everything from week 1 that we've been working on, bring it into week 4, and pick up another win this week.
Well, you talk about offense, defense, and special teams. There are 3 players that were awarded this week: Offensive Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week, and then Team Player of the Week. I love how it's team because that means they're contributing in multiple facets. So to think about before we get them over here to talk about them, let's talk about the defensive side. Obviously, I want to start with the defensive side. Let's talk about TJ. Let's talk about Latavius Walker and what his impact was in that game against the Falcons.
One thing about TJ is he's aggressive, and he always plays with a chip on his shoulder. He'll smile every now and then, but he's strong, he's fast. I mean, he sees the ball well, he's physical. He's one that wants to come up and hit you. He has really nice hands. That's why he plays receiver also. So I mean, he has an eye for the ball. So getting interceptions is nothing that would be new to him. And he's a difference maker on the field. He can cover the pass. He can come up and stop the run. He has great hands, and he's a difference maker out there. So we're excited to have him out there.
And definitely well deserving to be the Defensive Player of the Week with all the tackles that he was involved in. And then a lot of times on defense, even if you don't end up with a lot of tackles, that could be because you're getting double teamed, but someone else is going to be opened up to do that. Let's talk about the Offensive Player of the game, as we talked about for this particular game against Catalina Foothills. It was a ground attack, and Michael Lujan. Oh man, talk to me about this young man.
Mikey, he has one speed, and he goes. There was a time in the game where he got tackled, and he was running upfield, and he tried to make a jump cut to go out. I said, Mikey, no. And he looks at me. I said, just go. And then the next play, he gets the ball, runs a guy over, scores a touchdown. So it was nice. Mikey works hard. He every day he works hard. In the weight room, he works hard. He's a strong kid. Wanted to show him some more love this week, and he got the numbers that he wanted. He got the carries he wanted. He got the touchdowns that he wanted, and he earned those too. The line blocked well, but he also ran pretty dang hard. So I'm excited for Mike. He's a great kid, and I'm glad he's on our team. I'm glad we don't have to try to tackle him. He's a tough one.
Well, he was a beast on Friday night with over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, and again, that, like you said, that speaks to the power of the offensive line in that game, and being able to control that line of scrimmage. That opens up everything. If you control the line, you control everything. Let's talk about the Team Player of the Week. You're very familiar with this young man, Jaden Thomas. So 6 catches, a touchdown, tackles on defense, and a punt return. Obviously, how you taught him everything that he knows. What's that old joke? I taught you everything you know, but I didn't teach you everything I know.
Correct. Right.
So talking about Jaden and seeing his skills in multiple facets, obviously it makes you very proud as a coach. I want to talk to Joe, the father. What does it mean to have your son out there and doing these amazing things?
It's nice and it's tough, right? Because I've been coaching longer than he's been playing for me. So it is tough, and of course, you expect more from your kid because you're like, he knows better. So I try not to talk to him too much. Sometimes he's in the zone, I'm in the zone. We don't even talk that much during football season. I try to let him do him, and I'm doing me. But as a father, I'm proud. Ultimately, he's out there doing his thing. He's having fun. He's earning what he's doing. He's putting in the work. So as a father, I'm really proud of him. Try not to be too hard on him. But it is hard to probably have a coach and a father. And so it's like it's on the field. He calls me coach. I'm not dad on the field.
Right.
And then when we get home, sometimes he'll forget. And he'll be like, "Hey, coach." I answer him, and it's fine because he's used to that. But a proud father. And that's probably something I should probably tell him a little bit more. Hey, son, I'm proud of you. I'm always in coach mode. And, of course, I'm try to be a father to all these kids.
Of course.
I'm proud of him. I mean, he's a good target. Nash likes throwing the ball to him. He plays offense and defense. He was able to find the end zone again. He scored a 2-point conversion for us to 14-7. Had a nice punt return to set the offense up. So I was happy for him.
Well, you know, those are three great players, and if they have a second to talk to us, we'd love to do that. So as coach calls them over, my goodness gracious, again, this is the Buena Colt football pregame. Tomorrow night they will be playing right here on this field in Sierra Vista. Come on out, support the Colts. 7 p.m. start time, and you can be a part of the fun as they take on Tucson High. But when thinking about last week, and you think about it, sorry, you can do your jumping jacks too. You can do your Colt jacks too, man. TJ, man, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. It's an honor to talk to you. So glad. Congratulations on being the Defensive Player of the Week for the team last week. What was it about being on the defense last week that really just, was it their scheme that you were able to just see what was coming before it happened? Was it the coaching ahead of time? Was it the film study? Or was it just sheer brutality by the strength that you carry?
I think it's a little bit of everything, really. Studying for their film. I studied like that whole week as soon as the film came out. And really, it's the D-line that's helping me get those tackles. It's that whole defense that's helping me get those tackles. And yeah, it's really everything. Coaching, they're helping, and yes, that's really everything.
And being able to look ahead, you know, having these 1 week seasons, going 1-0. I mean, that's been the key or the lesson all along. But certainly this week, remembering, hey, 3-0 doesn't matter. We're 0-0. We want to go 1-0 tomorrow night. How much study have you done? Have you put in that same amount of time against Tucson High, knowing what their schemes are going to be coming at you come tomorrow night right here on this very field?
Yeah, I've put in probably a little bit more, seeing as like last year we only beat them by like 1 touchdown. I want to do more than that. I want to put a 0 on that board because we have yet to do that defensively. So yeah, I think that's the goal.
Well, having a home game here tomorrow night, we know that the whole crowd's going to be behind you and behind this team here all across Sierra Vista. And congratulations again, man. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us. We'll welcome in, let's see here. Should we say Offensive Player of the Game? First of all, congratulations to that. Michael, it's great to see you, man. Thinking about a ground attack and knowing that, hey, you got Mr. 3K in the backfield alongside you, that is almost... That is, I think, an unstoppable force.
Yes, sir.
It's a 1-2 punch, and some days you're the one, some days he's the one, but either way, it is like really quick. Talk about what it was last Friday that helped you get those 3 touchdowns, those over 200 yards rushing, and becoming the Offensive Player of the Week for this team.
It was a lot of key blocks, a lot. And yes, the line made a lot of effort, you know, but also receivers made key blocks on the outside, quarterbacks checking the plays for dives or anything. And also the Mr. 3K, Mr. Scrap, you know, he made key blocks too. So I believe just an overall just good block across the board, you know.
Do you get tired knowing I just ran 200 yards? I'm tired, man. I mean, I look at it as like maybe race car drivers who, when they get done driving the Indy 500, do they have to drive home? I don't know. I would not want to be in a car, you know. So it's like, when you run your 200 yards, I mean, could you have run 200 more, or are you just like, man, I could feel that I put in the work today?
I feel like you're in the moment, so like, you don't really feel tired until after the game. After the game, then you start feeling it all. But you're in the moment, and you just want to keep winning, keep going. So I don't feel like the fatigue gets to me, you know.
Well, looking ahead to tomorrow, have you seen what kind of defensive schemes that Tucson High might be trying to throw at you guys, and how you're going to take advantage of that?
Yeah, their linebackers play really close to the D-line, so we'll try to take advantage of that. Since they're not that deep, you know, they can't really read the plays that well, so we'll try to just hit them quick with the run game, and I feel like we'll be successful in that.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again, Michael, on being the Offensive Player of the Week. Great to see you. Thank you so much for your time. And then there was a Team Player of the Game last week. Jaden, great to see you, young man. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I know you guys are getting ready with your practice. And again, it is the day before the game run through, so no pads, just the helmet today. Let's talk about the effort that you're able to put forward in so many different facets last Friday. Offense, you got receptions, you got a touchdown. Defense, you got some tackles, you got some assists. Special teams, you got a big punt return. What is it like having that spotlight on you and wanting to perform for this team, to be able to give your best every single time you hit this field?
Well, I just feel like football, you know, it's one of the most, like, together team sports. You know, everyone has to play together. Like, I just try to do what I can for my team, wherever I am on the field, whether it's catching a ball or making a tackle, making someone else not catch a ball, or taking a punt, or, you know, we need to get up 2 points because we missed a field goal. So whether it's getting a touchdown or whether it's getting 2 points, I just try to help out wherever I can.
Well, and you did that in a huge way. Does it take extra study on your part, knowing you have to know the offensive schemes that you guys are doing, you have to know the opponent's offensive schemes when you're on defense, and you have to know the defense's schemes when you're on offense? I mean, you literally have to know just about everything. You got to know everybody's playbook. Does that make it more challenging, or do you see that as challenge accepted?
I feel like it's both, you know. I mean, I wouldn't have accepted the challenge if it wasn't challenging, you know. I feel like I'm with God, and, you know, God wouldn't have, he gave me the ability to complete all the challenges, you know. Of course it's challenging, but the challenges are only going to be gave to those who can overcome those, and I feel like I'm one of those people.
Well, and you've been a part of this 3-0 start for the Colts, and congratulations again on being the team player of the week, and we wish you guys the best tomorrow. Coach, as we wrap this up,
Offensive touchdown too, a receiving touchdown.
Wait, I forgot. Okay, so
He didn't forget because we gave him his defensive love, but I just wanted him to come
so
back.
in addition, so again, it's almost the Jaden syndrome, where again you're contributing on both sides of the ball. First of all, how dare you take jobs away from other teammates? No, I'm kidding. It's awesome. I mean, again, knowing that you're putting in that kind of effort, you know, is there any, you know, fatigue or exhaustion, or is it all just excitement to be able to contribute in multiple facets for this Buena Colts team?
Yeah, there's definitely some tiredness in there, but I always got to push through it. You know, you got to contribute to the team. So whatever that takes, I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Man, well, congratulations again on that, on the offensive side of the ball. I'm sorry, I didn't have notes on that. But again, defensive player of the week. And then doing the work on offense too, TJ. Congratulations, man. Thank you so much. Coach, well, we'll wrap this thing up, man, and say tomorrow night, Tucson High, right here, 7 p.m. This stanza will be lit. This field will be lit up, blue and white, all over the place. Getting ready for tomorrow. What are we looking at tomorrow? Keys to the game.
Keys to the game. Well, leading up into that, we've got to have a good walkthrough today. Got to be focused. Our JV has a home game tonight, so we'll support those guys. We want those guys to get excited about things. Tomorrow, we got to come out fired up, and I think they will. Right? So we're going to start the day. We're going to start storming the halls. So in the morning, have you guys been?
No, tell us about this.
So storming the halls. So the band starts. So you got the band, you got the football players, you got the cheerleaders, and the band plays and they go down the halls, and the classes are out and they're cheering, and then they meet back at the clock. The band plays a song. The football players get their little hype thing. Cheerleaders do a cheer. And you got all the students that are looking for the balcony. Everybody's there. It's a nice event, and it starts about 7:20.
What a cool event!
If you guys,
we'll definitely have to do. Well, yeah, we'll definitely have to do that. I mean, and,
nice.
and be a part of that.
But that sets the tone for the day.
Yeah.
The kids get excited. I mean, they're wearing the jerseys. You know, I mean, we're back in front of the home crowd. We got a new helmet that we're going to run out through.
Exactly. I'm so glad you brought that up. So there is a lot of times you'll see the big blow up helmets that are on the field that kids run through the tunnel, the blow up tunnels, the air tunnels. And you got a brand new one. I saw it on the Buena Colt football Facebook page. It looks awesome.
Parents and everybody, you guys did a great job. Our Colt parent coordinators took some charge, and some cheerleading parents. They got together and they got it done. So they got funds together and they got it. So it's going to be out.
It will be amazing, and you will see them come through the big tunnel for the very first time ever tomorrow night, right here on this very field, as Tucson High makes that hour-and-a-half trip to Sierra Vista as they take on the 3-0 Buena Fighting Colts going against the 2-1 Badgers, and we will see what happens tomorrow night. But in Cool FM, we'll have it all covered for us. And Coach, thank you again for taking the time to talk to us today, man. We love you, and we're so grateful for you. And thank you for watching this episode. Thank you for sharing this episode of the Buena Colt Football Kickoff Preview Show. Looking forward to tomorrow. Brought to you by SSBEC, Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, serving our community. 7 p.m. tomorrow, September 20th, right here in these very stands. Your tuchus should be here cheering on these kids, and you should be watching on Cool FM while you're here so you can see all the replays. You can watch it again and again and again. Keep rewinding it and watching it. And thank you again for sharing this video. Thank you for watching. Go Colts. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you again soon. Thank you, Chef. Thank you so much. Thank you. Awesome. Kick some butt tomorrow night, sir. It'll be great. It'll be great.